Hey there, it's Basic Dude again, and we're going to continue our basic training. As is our routine, or should be our routine, we want to go ahead and check our mission archive, take a quick glance at the upcoming missions on the star map, and from there we want to go ahead and check the laboratory, see if there's any upgrades available on the console. And right now we see that we don't have anything currently available, but we're getting close. So we're going to get out of there, and we're going to go ahead and check into the cantina. Again, check the items that are highlighted. Again, there are achievement bonuses available when you do that. And we see there's no new mercenaries available to us. So we're going to go ahead and check in the armory console. And we've got some credits available, 320,000. Let's see if we want to spend anything. And the new thing is the SCV. Nothing new in the inventory. And we're going to look in vehicles, and there's the Diamondback from the Great Train Robbery mission. But right now we're not going to do any of those upgrades. So let's go ahead and get back to the bridge and check our star map for the current missions. Now again, we're doing these missions in the casual level for training purposes. There's the newer mission, Cutthroat. There's the Dig with that wonderful tank. I just want to get that, but we need to do some backup here. And that backup is to go to Safe Haven. The reason we need this, if you're looking toward the end of the game, and especially if you're going to do the air portion, you're going to need some air defense and offense, and that'll be the Viking. So anyway, here's a little bit of background on the mission, and we're going to find that there's potential for infestation that the Protoss want to get rid of. This is a mission that's not required to obtain a game completion and possibly qualify for the Hurry Up is Raid Night achievement, which is again completing the Liberty campaign under 8 hours. But again, it's got one of the most valuable of the units, I believe, in the Viking, especially in terms of air defense and offense. It's a pretty good unit. So we're going to go ahead and see what goes on here. Now this little segment of the game has a little bit of a quirk here. And you're going to see that in a second we're going to have to make a choice. And that choice is whether we're going to help Dr. Hansen and save her people, or help the Protoss in destroying the infestation. Now, both missions are going to be completed, but how you go forward and which mission you choose impacts how the game will play forward. We went ahead and chose the Save the Colonists portion, and even though it doesn't give us the Protoss research which we want and need, it will still give us the Viking, which again is really what we're shooting for. And this actually is the shorter of the two missions, and shorter in terms of time, not necessarily in difficulty, but in terms of time. This mission is on a time basis, not in your control, just like the evacuation mission, if you recall that. You're on a schedule here. That Protoss mothership is going to be traveling between the bases, and you need to destroy the Nexus in the meantime, protect the various colonists at their bases so that they can escape until you can destroy the mothership. So that's where we're going to look forward to. Now, if you're going back to the hurry up, it's raid night achievement, you can include the evacuation mission in this particular mission and still make the 8-hour achievement. So this is superfluous in terms of obtaining the achievement, but important in terms of completing the game. And again, not to give you a spoiler, but there's a portion at the end where you have to choose between ground and air, and if you're going to choose air, you wouldn't be able to succeed without the Vikings. So anyway, let's go forward, and what we're going to try to give you is what I believe the best way to attack the Nexi, and
I've located the Protoss Nexus.
Let's see what we can do here. Now again, casual level, the Protoss will be weakened at 1/2 of their life and hit power, and so we'll have quite an easy time. We're going to play it as if it were at a minimum normal level, but we're all of this, except as I will mention later, is, I believe, the strategy available at all the levels. So again, obviously we want to start with our SCVs mining, and immediately after that you want to add the reactor to the starport. We want to be able to produce 2 Vikings at a time. Very, very important. That is the key of the mission. And as you notice in most of the missions, the new unit that you're being introduced to is normally the way to win. And that is definitely true in this mission. So without too much more, let's say that your defense, your base defense, is adequate with 1 bunker placed right before your starport there, right in front of your starport. And if we fill that up with 4 Marines, 1 Marauder, and keep it in good shape, we should be able to survive most of the missions with good micromanagement. And that's not going to be all that difficult, but let's see how this thing goes. Alright, you've seen that the mothership had arrived. We've got our 5 Vikings right now, and we're going to attack the first Nexus, and that is just to the east of our base. As you go over the rise, you're going to be attacked with some Phoenixes, and there are some warp prisms there which power the Protoss photon cannons. Take those out, and you want to land. You want to land on this ridge, by the way. This ridge gives you the ability with the Viking to shoot into and destroy a good portion of the base without taking severe damage from the Protoss. Again, in terms of using Vikings, and I'm going to try to point it out as best I can throughout all the missions, anytime you can get yourself a ledge that you can use as sniping without exposing yourself to retaliation, you want to take advantage of that. So as you see, those 5 Vikings quickly dispatched the first Nexus. Now, I suggest that you start this mission with 5 Vikings as opposed to just going over there with 3. And waiting those couple extra seconds, I think this will prove a benefit to you in terms of how quickly you can destroy the base, how quickly you can move forward, and also minimize your losses. As with anything, again, too many losses, you're not going to win. Now, once we've destroyed that base, we're going to go back, heal up our units, and as you see, we've got 5 colonist outposts. One where the mothership is currently located. 2, that's our second outpost. In the center there is number 3. Just to the left and south of our base is number 4. And within our base is number 5. And the achievements on this game are to save 3 at the normal level and 2 at the hard level. So let's see if we can do that. Actually, we're going to show you the best way to do that. Once you've destroyed that first base, bring your Vikings down. I brought them down a little bit too far south. You actually want to keep them a little north of that bridge, because at the hard and brutal level you may get sniped at by attacking Protoss forces, which will cause some damage that you can avoid just by going a little bit north. But you do want to be in position at this time to help the colonists and defend that outpost from an upcoming attack. And it'll show up here in our mission objectives as a terror fleet. And so again, we want to be in position. And again, just a little bit north. Again, if you're at the south end of that middle base, you're in the proper position. Now, this is, again, a somewhat simplified game because, again, at the casual level. But again, this strategy is, I believe, the best strategy for the game. Here comes the Protoss Terror Fleet, and if you go ahead and snipe them out and attack them, you can actually attack and destroy them with 5 to 7 Vikings if you quote-unquote sneak up on them. Now, when the colonists leave, they kind of leave, I guess, their money behind, and we can use that to bolster our forces, and we really need all those monies. So you do want to protect the colonists. You do want to get the monies that they leave behind. And so once you've done that, return back to your base. We're going to be getting a base attack, again, at the casual level that are somewhat milder. They're substantial at the normal, and very difficult at the brutal level. So again, just keep that in mind. Now, the next particular thing that we want to do is actually build a second starport. Eventually, we're going to want to be able to pump out more Vikings. Right now, with the reactor, we're able to pump out 2. With 2 starports and with reactors, we'll be able to pump out 4 at a time. Very important, because you're going to take some losses at the hard and brutal level, and they could be substantial. Again, not so much in the casual level, but again, in the hard and brutal level, it gets difficult. Normal still is not a cakewalk, because again, all the Protoss units are at full strength and hit power. But let's take advantage of the casual level to do our training. So there you see our starport completing, the reactor also being attached. And while we're waiting for that, we're going to attack the second Nexus. Now, as you see, we're basing our attack with 11 Vikings. And as you see, there's a little emblem there. As you come off that ridge, that's kind of where you want to be. Now, the first thing you want to do is snipe out the warp prisms there, which power the cannons. This particular base does have a Colossus. It actually has multiple Colossi in the upper levels, and that gives the Protoss vision. So you definitely want to take that out, and what I suggest is that you land as close to that emblem in the western portion with most of your forces and take out that Colossi as they become available. If you land all your Vikings now again, as we did with the previous base, you'll be able to beat that Nexus up and destroy it without too much difficulty. Now, we're going to take out this particular warp prism also. You can attack the Nexus bases with a combined unit force of ground and air units. And if you do, I still suggest that you use, for these first two, for actually all of the Nexuses, the air portion should be as shown here. Again, attacking from the side over the ridge, landing on the little hillside there, and minimizing your damage to the Vikings. Also, if you want to be a little bit more of a completionist, you might want to circle around on bases 1 and 2. Each of those has a warp prism and another Phoenix at the eastern side of the base. If you leave them alone, you're in good shape. And I suggest you don't take the extra losses or hits, if you will, especially again in the hard and brutal level. So again, it's not necessary to take them out, but again, if you feel you want to and that's the way you play, then go for it. Now, one thing that I'm going to make mention again is to achieve the normal level difficulty achievement, you need to save and destroy the Protoss mothership by the time it reaches this particular base, before it destroys that base. And it becomes a very much of a timing issue. So you'd like to keep your Vikings as healthy as possible and as numerous as possible, because you're going to be facing a lot of air activity, and it's just because of timing, a very short mission in terms of that, and stressful at actually even the normal level because of the timing, but more so at the upper levels because of the upgraded forces of the Protoss. Now here we go, we're sniping at the 2 carriers here that are sent to destroy the base. In the higher levels, the carriers will be accompanied by Void Rays and or Phoenixes, so it's not going to be quite that simple. But again, we want to gather up the minerals there, and we want to go ahead and utilize those minerals in terms of gathering more forces. So again, the basics of any of the missions is to continue building your economy with your SCVs and building and upgrading your units as money allows. And so the only good thing with this money is that you spend it. There's a Colossus that went ahead and attacked our base. But again, at this level, doesn't do serious damage. When you get involved later, you're going to see that you can do some damage, so you want to go ahead and do that. Now this third Nexus is the best defended base of the Protoss, and here we go. We're going to go into that, and there are a couple of carriers here, a war prison that we took out, and a void ray. Now don't go straight into this base. What you want to do is swing around the south of the base, give yourself an opportunity to see how the positioning of the Protoss forces are, and take out as many of the air units as you possibly can. Again, this is casual. Know that there's more forces against you in the other levels. You want to swing around into that open cornfield or whatever field and land your Vikings there. I suggest that you attack this particular base with not less than a full pallet of Vikings at any level.
Purifier
And again, I
shields
say
are
that
offline, sir.
for
Hit it now.
because of the strength and the retaliation, you'll need those to get there. Now what's happened, as you notice, is that the Purifier has lost its shields, and the hit point value on the mothership here is only 4,000. Then it goes up to 8,000 at brutal, 7,000 at hard, and 6,000 at normal. What we've done is you want to attack that mothership as it's moving forward with your Vikings at the rear. It's an easy pickings.
Protoss are retreating.
Kind
You've
of
done it.
Game over. We got
As the story said,
theoretically
James Raynor.
all the
I hope you will believe in
achievements
these
available
comments
to us.
made.
There's another portion to the training, which is actually a separate video, which we're going to have to direct you to. So we'll see you at that one. For the moment, this is Basic Dude. Take a look at the extra training mission coming up. See you there.